Badging is a big event in the Gurkha calendar, the day young recruits learn their destiny in the British Army. But for teenagers back in Nepal, desperate to follow in these young men's footsteps, hopes have been dashed as registration this year was cancelled. Nepal is still in lockdown, with the situation across the country changing week by week. Yesterday it was announced that some international flights would be allowed back into Kathmandu, but only for diplomats, aid workers and Nepali government officials. Colonel, Brigade of Gurkhas, gave me an update on plans for the intake of 2021.
For the staff from the UK that will help conduct the selection, both from here in Catterick and more widely across the Army, there's no route into Nepal just yet. The regulations that pertain to social distancing, to group gatherings and requirements for quarantine still unclear. So there's a whole load of uncertainty there. But what the military does very well is plan against those uncertainties, and we've got a range of contingencies. We've adjusted the time, adjusted the profile of some of the training, and depending on the situation, I've got a range of plans to execute to make sure that we're able to select the best young men to come to join the British Army very early on in the new year.
Essentially, those plans involve inviting back unsuccessful candidates from last year's selection process, provided they are still beneath the age limit of 21.
If it's a 6 or 7 step process, we've effectively short-circuited and gone back to those that were very successful last year. Some of the administrative and medical requirements will still be in date, which will make life quite a lot easier.
Is there any concern about a drop in standards given that though?
Not given the year's worth of training here and how hard the staff will work and how professional they are. The standard is so high, with about 4% of those that show interest being selected. We're not concerned about any perceived drop in standard, because when they come here to Catterick, and the 2nd Battalion and through Gurkha Company will know that at the end of that training they'll be absolutely ready to take their place in the field army.
The other talking point around selection is whether women will ever be allowed to join the Gurkhas. 2 years ago, rumours leaked to the press that they could apply this year, but that wasn't to be, and an agreement is yet to be reached.
Regarding female recruitment in the Brigade of Gurkhas, as all roles are in defence, they are all open to anybody of any sex. Right now that's not something that the Nepalese government will allow us to entertain. There are a whole bunch of high-level discussions and talks going on regarding service of Gurkhas in the British Army, the Indian Army and the Singapore Police Force, and it's another issue that's wrapped up in those talks. There's been a large pause as the governments have been focused on the pandemic and national situation, but that's something that with our embassy staff now back in greater numbers, those talks will be re-initiated. But with a sort of rolling annual decision point in February to be able to attract and select, then we're looking at a minimum of another year.
As in, girls may be able to apply for the intake, applying in 2021 for entry in 2022?
That's a possibility and something that we are open, ready and willing for.
Training Rappelman Kusal Rana, 1 hour.
Whilst these young riflemen now have more clarity over their futures, for the next generation of soldiers in Nepal, things remain a little less clear. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.